Trump's tariff threat against Canada is on pause for now, but it continues to loom in the background. In light of the increasingly uncertain trade future with the U.S., experts say Canada needs to focus on diversifying its trade, including knocking down barriers within this country that inhibit domestic trade. For more on this, I want to bring in Gitane De Silva, former Deputy Minister for International and Intergovernmental Relations for the province of Alberta and a specialist on Canadian trade. Gitane, appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what impact do trade barriers between provinces have on the country?
Well, if you look at internal trade as about 20%, just roughly, of Canada's GDP, anything that inhibits that is going to slow down economic growth. So you see things like trucking regulations, for example, that vary between provinces, where a trucker might need to change a flag for a light, for example, for a safety reason, or different weight restrictions. And so the time that it takes at the border to switch those things out, the time it costs on the back end, lost time in terms of transportation, all of that has a negative impact on the economy. So getting internal trade right is actually really important for Canadians from coast to coast.
So Gitane, that's just a restriction that I just didn't really realize. So you're basically saying, let's say you're driving, you pick the province, you have to stop, you got to pull over before you go from one province to another, and you have to adjust your headlights or you have to adjust something on your truck that's traveling across the country?
That's right. Or between BC and Alberta, you have certain types of vehicles that can only be operated during the day. And on the other side of the border, they can only be operated at night. So it gives you a very small window for crossing that border.
So that seems kind of, I don't know, it doesn't seem like something that's, I don't understand it. Do you understand it? Like, why would that be?
Well, then most of the regulations are in place for safety reasons, right? Someone thought this was a way to increase safety, to protect people. But sometimes, you can achieve the same outcome with different methods. And that's the problem, right? Those methods or those regulations are not harmonized across Canada. And there are so many discrepancies that even sitting down and sorting them out is going to take a while. But now really would be the time to start. And
it does seem to be the time to start because Anita, Anand, the internal trade minister, or I think I'm kind of paraphrasing her title, but she's in charge of intergovernmental trade, and she's kind of trying to break down these. She says she feels as though there's keenness, that it's palpable in terms of wanting to break down these barriers. Do you share that kind of optimism in this moment?
Well, if not now, then when, right? We are facing an existential threat when it comes to our trading relationship with the United States, which is a huge driver of our economy. And if we can break down these internal trade barriers, we have the opportunity to boost our own domestic economy in ways that's completely within our control by up to $200 billion. So I think now is the moment.
$200 billion. So that is a significant amount of trade. Do you sense that there are some provinces that are more keen than other provinces when it comes to breaking down these barriers, or are some provinces keener to keep some of these regulations in place?
Well, Alberta's often been seen as a leader when it comes to liberalizing trade, and there has been an alliance here in Western Canada for a number of years. So BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba have the New West Partnership, which was really aimed at eliminating barriers for government procurement, so that, the power of those four provinces together could buy more things together for cheaper. So there's lots of bets. There's a really good example out there. And I think it is an opportunity. You're hearing more and more premiers talk about this. So we have something that we can start from and potentially expand that across the country, not just government procurement, but really looking at those regulations, trucking, health services, professional designations. This is all areas where the premiers can move together and sort of back away from a form of domestic protectionism and really take opportunity to seize this moment and grow Canada's entire economy.
And so I think you were hinting there at labor mobility, that there should be even more, even though it's easy to you don't have to bring your passport when you're traveling across the country, but sometimes it's not that easy to just kind of pick up with one job, say you're a nurse in one province and just move to another, that kind of thing?
That's right. So there's about 600 different professional bodies across Canada that regulate professionals, tradespeople. So we hear repeatedly about the challenges for doctors and nurses to move across the country, but the same is also true. There's different trucking licensing regulations in different parts of the country, tradespeople as well, looking to move if they're working towards a certain level of journeyman or red seal. Often their hours only count in one province and they have to start over in another. So those are all things that we can address domestically if we're just willing to come together.
Can you adjust these in keeping with the spirit, because this is where I can sense there might be some resistance, where provinces want to maintain their own sovereignty, that they don't want it to be kind of an Ottawa-driven harmonization. Maybe you know what I mean? Like they want to continue to be able to make their own rules, respect their jurisdiction, but also have the harmony. Can you do both all at once?
Well, I'm sitting in Alberta, so I certainly understand the tension between provinces and Ottawa. And yes, I think there absolutely is an opportunity if the provinces are able to lead. This is really an opportunity where the provinces control most of the barriers. So it's an opportunity for the provinces to come forward. The federal government absolutely has a role to play. They play a role in terms of maybe they could get rid of some inspections that are required for agricultural products crossing a provincial border. But the federal government can actually offer a stick in this scenario. Whenever you reduce a barrier to trade, there will be a negative impact on some element of your economy. So there is an opportunity for the federal government to say, here, we'll offer you a carrot. We'll assist with some type of economic transition package to allow this broader deal to go forward, because it really is for the greater good.
Gitane, it was really good to get your insight on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Gitane De Silva out of Calgary.